Oh yeah, sexy biscuits. Nice.
Long Blues 1975. YouTubers on the rise. Reviewing games late at night and sometimes friends. But Long Blues 1975.
This is Afterburner on the Amstrad CPC. So obviously, pretty sure you're familiar with Afterburner, because obviously I had to do as many gameplays of all the arcade ports to any machine that I play, particularly the micros, as I can. And Afterburner was released in the arcades by Sega in 1987. It's a super skater where you're a lone tomcat against basically everyone. Absolutely everyone. A full sit-down hydraulic cab or a stand-up cab. I remember playing in the hydraulic cab back in the day in that arcade in Westford Ho and loved it. Followed up by a sequel which just remixed the music and added 4 levels, but it was ported to absolutely everything. Now, the music on this version is actually pretty good. You would think that there is no chance that the micros could pull this off, and for the most part you were pretty much correct, but that didn't stop us wanting these games to be released on the micros back in the day, because for many of us, not me, I was Master System and Mega Drive boy, this was the only way we got to play them. So this was ported by Activision in 1988 to the Spectrum, gameplay of that, Commodore, gameplay of that. This, the Amstrad, the Amiga and the Atari ST. What's interesting about the Amiga is there's also an American version of it by Sega themselves, North American, which is different and looks better and doesn't have this huge bezel around the outside to keep the speed up, which also tries to replicate the arcade machine, hence those lights at the top. Kind of understand why they did it, don't like it. Anyway, let's get into this. Right, so, fire 1, keyboard 2, joystick. Don't know what reviews this got. See, the thing is, on the Spectrum, same bloke who did Space Harrier for Elite on the Spectrum, that's a really good port, did it. It's alright, it's alright. I'm assuming this is, what, a port of that? Maybe colorized, maybe not colorized. I don't know, I've not played it. But, oh, listen to that. At least they had a pop at the music, yeah. On the Spectrum, it's alright. It's alright for what it is. It's not going to change your life and shit like that, but 2, joystick. Do we have to worry about speed? Well, there's a speed button at the bottom. I don't know. If I press keyboard, are you going to let me define the keys? No, you won't even let me start, so... The toggle, pause, press 1 and 2. Disk access. Spoilers! This is a hack ROM. Right, so there is a speed, bottom left, lives underneath that, missiles bottom right. It's coloured. So it's... See what I meant about the top, right and left, flashing lights? Oh shit. Well, I mean, if you're a fan of the arcade, there's no denying that it looks like a version of Afterburner. That's as kind as I can be. A space would appear to handle speed. Are those SR-71s? Right, obviously, lack of buttons means you're going to fire your Vulcans all the time. Missile locks on as you would expect in the arcades. How do I do a barrel roll? I cannot. See, the thing is, this machine has no right of doing this. A right to do this. But here we have a very crude, I'm not saying it's brilliant, a very crude and somewhat playable version of Afterburner that if you were a fan of the arcade, you would recognise as Afterburner. To be fair, it's just a Spectrum version with colour, but the simple addition of colour actually makes a pretty big difference. I mean, imagination was a thing you had to use as kids on the micros, wasn't it? But they were cheap, and you could pirate, and games came on tape because you could pirate. So they were a godsend, and for many people, being able to enjoy games at home, they were the only way to go. And what I'm basically trying to say is, even though I've never played the Amstrad version before now, I find a charm to these things. See, this is cool. We've refueled. The stage went yellowish. It's the arcade game. I'm flying up to the top of the screen. Disk access, please. Oh, this would have driven you nuts back in the day, though, wouldn't it? Because obviously hack ROMs did not exist back then. Right, apologies for the noise outside. Every bloke who owns a motorbike decides that they have to take the silencer out the exhaust and be a massive dickhead. See? And that's with double glazing, mind. Oh, bollocks. Where are my lives? I'm doing alright with the lives. Oh, I forgot to mention, scoring stage is in the centre at the top of the screen. Do you know what? I'm quite pleasantly surprised by this. Why am I not looking at... There we go. It's pretty liberal with the missiles as well, isn't it? I'm just firing for the sake of firing. There we go. Boo-boo! It's funny, but the missile, when you get the lock, or like 3 of the locks, and you just fire, you know, tap, 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 surprisingly satisfying. I can't shoot Harriers down. I have a soft spot for Harriers. Thanks to the Falklands. We won. You're welcome. Ooh. My Vulcans appear to have stopped working. And by that I mean they are working, they're just not hitting anything. Look at that. I'm loving how colourful this is. I would say this is better looking than the Commodore 64, because it's got... I mean, it's a bit chunky, because Amstrad is when it's in colour mode, but it's got like... The sprites are sharper than the Commodore in the fact that they do resemble the Spectrum, but we've got all this colour. We've got all this colour. It is a wonderful thing indeed. Boo boo! Can I get to the canyon? I sincerely doubt it. Can't barrel roll then. In fact, you can't barrel roll, so this whole game's shit. I take it all back. The first port I played at home of... Oi! You can. I take it back. No, actually, I would have played it on... No, I think I played it on the Master System before I played it on the Spectrum. Yeah, I still played my Spectrum even though I had a Master System. Probably because games on the Master System were so bloody expensive. And you couldn't pirate them. How far we've come with emulation technology. It's like a reward for you putting up with it as a child. I'm out of missiles. Shizen. This isn't going well. How am I going to do anything with just my Vulcans? Presumably, when I hit the next stage... Hey, we're on stage 4. When I hit the next stage, it's going to give me missiles. No, it's... Oh. Alright, so that's cool. That's in there. Oh, come on. Don't act like you're not impressed. It is giving me missiles. This is a very nice little rendition of Afterburner. Made that much better by the fact... And it's got the hang-on bike. By the fact that I don't have to load the levels in real time. Because that would be a pisser. That would have sucked back in the day, Amstrad kids. I mean, if you had this back in the day, Amstrad kids, can I call you Amstrad kids? Because I am, and I always do. And you're a massive fan of the arcade, and this was the only thing you had to play it on. Were you happy with it? I would have been. Spoilers. Again, I had a Master System, and that version rocks. I still think that version rocks because of the size of the sprites. I do have a gameplay of it, if you want to check it out. If you keep getting lock-ons, even if you're frugal, will your missiles last to the end of the stage? Or, in fact, if I don't land and I don't see that plane, does that mean I even get missiles when I get to the next stage? How do I not know this when this game is this old and I've played it on everything? Fail, Dave. Fail. Right. Oh, he's behind me. How do I... I'm going for Harry Clappers. How do I avoid him then? It's pretty Johnny on the spot generous. With the ammunition though, isn't it? Ammunition. Lives. Ooh. Is he just gonna... There we go. We're going full on now. Yeah, keep up with that. Shit. I must be earning extra life, surely. Must be. I would like the option for in-game music. I'm just saying. But on the whole, that's a small nitpick. I'm quite impressed with this. I really am. Obviously, memberberry goggles are kicking in there, rose tinted ones at that, and I like my micros. Shit. But yeah, this is alright. You can have this one, Amstrad kids. It's better than the Spectrum version. Hey! Stage. Yeah, that really, I forgot all about that, but at least it wouldn't have been as bad as, because you would have to load this on tape on the 464. Does that mean the Spectrum version was a multi-loader? Oh my god! Colour me impressed. Seriously? I'm out of missiles again, so I'm just moving. My Vulcans are still on. Oh! Should I slow down? I don't know. It's because I've taken my hand off the controller. Ooh. See, to the untrained eye, this looks awful. Trust me, if you grew up back in the day with this shit and you knew the limitations of these machines, bearing in mind what it's trying to make, you know, a port of, I'm impressed. How long is this fucking cavern? Quite long, it would seem. Boo boo! Oh, he's out. Stage, what are we on now? Stage 9. 1 life left. I like the way it tells you the next stage, but then you leave the screen and then it loads it. Small things, I know. Small things. Right, anyone gonna show up? Hang on. Speed up. Speed up again. Hey! Yeah, I'm liking this. Again, you know. Limited life goals, I guess. Limited life goals. Well played, Activision. Well played. Right, I do have a gameplay of the Amiga version as well. And I have a gameplay of the Amiga version that was the North American one by Sega. Yay! And the fact that the explosions are so colourful is just awesome sauce, shies and balls. Oh, look at them going fucking Harry clappers. It's the Harriers again. I can't stay mad at you, Harriers. We won the Falklands War. Because of you boys. Get a lock on. Ah, oh, there we go. Afterburner on the Amstrad CPC. Clearly, I'm guessing it's using the Spectrum code, and we still got 1 life. And they've just colorized it. But then obviously I could be wrong. I, you know, usually am. But as always, I'd love to know what you think, especially if you played this port back in the day. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you later.